play with this camera a little bit. See where it's gonna look okay. All right. How's everyone doing? Happy Friday. I hope it all went well. I think I'm gonna start off with a Negroni. How's the audio come through? Okay. All right. I got my other video up here. I'm looking from my laptop. Cool. How's everyone doing? Feel free to chat if you want to put something in the chat. I lost track of time, and so I didn't grab everything that I need. So I'm gonna get, for my Negroni, gin, sweet vermouth, and Campari. I'll be right back. I'll be working with brokers and, of course, Campari. The sweet vermouth I have is Noël Prat, and we need an orange, and I'm also gonna get an ice cube. Oh man, I need a mixing glass as well. So much to do. All right, I'm gonna go grab those things, and I'll be right back. All right, the ice situation and the back and forth here is going to be a challenge, but so it goes. So we'll get everything in, and then I'll go grab ice, we'll mix it up, put it in the glass, and then I'll have to get an orange to express some oil, and we'll be good to go. So, shy folks, how's everyone doing? I am exhausted today because, I don't know, I've been staying up too late and still have to get up early. So, feel good. My specs, in case you're following along, doing 1.5 ounces of the gin, and 3/4 of an ounce of the Campari and the sweet vermouth. And I'm going to top it off with some orange oil. And I'm going to toss that orange slice right in. Peel slice, I guess. And I'm going to do it over a cube because I tend to enjoy it more that way. Okay, so liquor's in. We need, I'm going to go fill this with ice. Mixing glass here. Sorry, I keep looking at the laptop as opposed to the camera here. And I'm going to throw a cube in here. We'll mix it up and we'll be on our way. I'll be right back. I gotta tell you, it's been fun making videos again. Took a long time off. Since I used to mostly be doing stock videos, and it just got to be more than I wanted it to be. I gave in to the popularity of them, and the channel was never meant to be a stock channel. So, and I myself I don't have time to even really keep up with the market and everything. So I'm a boring investor at this point. But it's alright, it's less nerve-wracking, and I have more time for other things. Like this nonprofit that I launched at the beginning of the year called The Helpers. If you want to check us out, we are the-helpers.org, because someone is sitting on thehelpers.org without a hyphen. I assume that they want to sell it, but I wrote them a message and they didn't write back to me, so we have the hyphen so far, and that's just what it's going to be. Here's how she's looking. I'm going to go grab an orange so I can squeeze that peel and toss the peel in, and I'll be right back. Maybe instead of constantly walking away and leaving this empty shot, maybe I'll pick up the camera and bring it with me, because as I get into these, there's not going to be any way around having to rinse stuff out and go get more ice and all that jazz. So you might get a little mini house tour as well, I guess. Let me tighten this up so the camera doesn't fall. All right, cheers everyone. That is good. I was gonna tell you about something, and now I've forgotten. I was listening to something about this JonBenét, the latest claim to involvement, and it sort of seems like a promising suspect until, from what I was hearing, it kind of sounds like there was some unknown male DNA that was found, and this person is not a match to that. And also, I was thinking back on the case and that craziness about the bonus that John had received, and he was then, in the ransom note, it named like that amount, and it's just, who would have possibly known that? Probably not this like random neighbor person who ended up to be a really unfortunate character. So, I don't know, I'm back to the question about somebody that knew him from work or something. Somebody that knew about that bonus amount. That's just so odd. And then I was remembering too, back to this airplane that I guess they had chartered that they were going to take like immediately, which just like didn't help the parents' case of, we're not involved in the situation here. But I don't know, crazy that every couple years someone new pops up and tries to take credit for it. It's pretty unfortunate. But yes, I was doing that. I was doing a little reading of Hafiz today. A little bit of rumi as well, some ramdas. Um, what else? And what else? I can't remember. Is the video choppy for you all, or is it just my laptop that I have here to monitor things? It was like pinwheeling or whatever, but hopefully it's okay. Yeah, so I was doing that today and just trying to like plug through. Like I said, it's been an unusually exhausting week, and I'm usually on the more exhausted side of things. So weekends, unfortunately, don't provide much of a safe haven like they do for, maybe people with older kids or certainly people with no kids. But I had this cool idea that I think we might try to do. There's like a zoo that I've heard is pretty good, sort of just across the Massachusetts border. And the kids have been kind of always interested in trains, as you can imagine. When we were living in Brooklyn, my oldest used to just want to stand on the platform where we were. The trains were above ground, but they were like at ground level. They weren't like elevated like in Chicago. And there was an area where you could walk above where the trains would pull into the station, and you could watch them from there. And he used to love to do that. But we've never really gone on an Amtrak train ride. And so I thought it could be fun for them to just hop on and go. I think the train ride is only like 30, 40 minutes from here to get to that zoo. And so that would be like enough for them to, get the gist of riding on a train. And then we could do the zoo, and then we could take the train back home. The trick is it's a little bit of a ride to get to the zoo. So if we don't have a car, we're gonna have to find like a ride share that has a car seat or two and see if that's manageable. But it seems like a fun idea. And I think the train ride, because it's so short, is only like $5 a person or something. So probably get into that at some point. But yeah, otherwise, summer's in full swing. It's like crazy how hot it's been outside. It's hopefully the weather can cool down a little bit, but I think we have bigger problems afoot on the weather front than just hoping that things can cool off a little bit. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'll take a look and see what my next drink I might want to have is. Not really in the mood for martini, though that is a common go-to of mine. Ooh, I haven't had a last word in a long time. Might do that. Another nice gin, give it a good shake. The old Hemingway. Alright, so last word is a possibility. The Semester Abroad is really good. I think it was invented by, what's his name? Anders Ericsson? He has a channel where he creates and shows you different cocktails. I think he invented that, the Semester Abroad. It's really good. So that's also a possibility. Negroni, we're already having. Bee's Knees, I don't have any honey syrup at the moment. Rusty Nail I haven't had in a while, but that's not really my mood at the moment. Margaritas, nah. Cadillac Sidecar, I don't know if I'm into cognac at the moment. Feels a little early for cognac. Old fashioned is always a good option. maple old fashioned. There's another good YouTube channel if you haven't seen it before called How to Drink. And the guy Greg, he made this maple old fashioned, which it just instead of using sugar cube or some type of syrup, he uses maple syrup, and it's really good. And I also got a really good bourbon, Yellowstone bourbon. If you haven't had it before, it's a really unique taste. Very good. Right now I'm still working on a bottle. I haven't opened the Yellowstone yet, but Old Granddad. Not my favorite. I think I saw that on Anders' channel, and so I tried it. It was not so much to my liking. It's just tastes, I don't know, very, very run of the mill, I guess I would say. There's a take on the last word called Final Ward, which is very similar, but with whiskey and lemon juice instead of lime juice and gin. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Monte Cassino. Monte Cassino is a good one. If you ever get a chance, you need 1 ounce of everything: rye, yellow chartreuse, Benedictine, Dom, and lemon juice. And give that puppy a shake. El Presidente is a good rum drink if you like that. It's not on my list for today, I don't think. Well, Bijou is also good. Might be a good option instead of. I haven't had the last word in so long though, so maybe that's a good option. I know this is riveting, but we're just sitting, chilling, hanging out. If there's anything on anyone's mind and you want to pop it into chat, feel free. Otherwise, I'll try to think of what else has been going on. Oh, I have all these aquavits. Nina is an aquavit that I have. A Ford cocktail would be good also. White Negroni, but I don't have Sue's. So that's out. Oh, the Alaska. You know what would be good? Something with an absinthe rinse. Could be nice. Oh, there's some really good. Which one is it? I have a really good boozy cold brew recipe. Okay, this is really good. I'm not gonna make it because it's too late to have cold brew, but let me just tell you, if you get a chance. 1 ounce cold brew, 1 ounce rye whiskey, 1 ounce sweet vermouth, a 1 ounce maraschino liqueur, and then a dash of Peychaud's bitters, and a lemon zest and fresh thyme sprig as a garnish. This one you stir. So you stir in the cold brew, rye, sweet vermouth, maraschino, Luxardo, and your dash of Peychaud's. Strain it. Put a lemon zest and a thyme sprig in that puppy. It's really good. It's really good. All right, I think it's going to be a last word kind of a situation. 1 ounce of everything, equal parts: lime juice, maraschino, chartreuse, and London dry gin. I usually go a bit light on the lime juice because I find typically like half, maybe 3/4 of what's called for is enough for me. Otherwise, I feel like it just can take over too much, you know? If you're watching and you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, I would appreciate it. It will help this get shared out a little bit. And if anyone else is enjoying any Friday afternoon drinks, feel free to let me know what you're having. I also have 15 bottles of wine that are going to be delivered today. I just realized that was not intentional. But I just happened to have, a little time this afternoon when everyone was going to be out of the house. And I thought, this could be like a fun thing to do. Even though I was like exhausted and I was like, should I just try to sleep instead? But I'm notoriously a horrible napper. And I often wake up and just feel atrocious and groggy. And it is one of the saddest parts of existence to me is that I'm not a nap person. Those nap people, they look phenomenal. So yeah, that's the bane of my existence at the moment. While I finish this, let's walk around and let's get stuff together for the last word. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna try to keep this not awful. And you're gonna get an inadvertent mini house tour, which is at least mostly a disaster, if not all a disaster, because children take over everything. So, all right, we got our gin here. I don't need the peeler. Let's go get us a little rinse from the a rinse for our measuring utensils. I forgot. This is still gonna be a ton of trips. I don't know if it's if it's better if I just walk away and say I'll be back in like 3 minutes and make the drink, or if it's better to not disappear, but have you deal with probably some pretty questionable, nauseating camera work. But, oh, and I can only then carry with one hand, the other hand holding the camera. But I don't know, we'll see. But if you do end up checking out the Helpers, again, the-helpers.org. That's the nonprofit I started at the beginning of the year. We are about to kick off our project to help people experiencing homelessness. And then we're getting some good groundwork done for helping to solve the coming fresh water crisis, which I feel like most of the time when I bring it up to people, they're sort of like, that's a thing that's happening? I had never heard of it. So even people who are like, seem fairly aware and in tune. So there's gonna be a lot to do there. It's gonna be just kind of spreading the word. But yeah, it's, oh, and what I meant to say is, this isn't the point of this, obviously, but I do have the 501c3 status for the nonprofit. So if you do make a donation, do it through the site, not through YouTube, obviously. And it's tax deductible if you're in the U.S. Sorry, it's crazy bird activity going on outdoors. We had a crazy thunderstorm earlier, and now I guess they're all out collecting worms. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see, but there's a bird right there in the box, yeah. But there's some really pretty ones. There's a pretty one that's a little fort that I made the kids, and there's one perched there. I don't know if it's a blue jay or a bluebird, or if those are even two different things. I don't know. I don't know anything about birds, really. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this. This is gonna be far more challenging than I thought it would be. Maybe I have to just bring stuff in and deal with it all by the camera, because, yeah, it's a lot. So I have to set this down in order to do the limes and all that jazz. So, I don't know. All right, I'm gonna change my mind again, and we're gonna leave the camera here. I'm gonna go get stuff, and then I'm gonna come back and make the last word, finish the Negroni, and we'll go from there. I'm gonna do lime juice in first, then we'll do the gin. We'll do lime juice, maraschino, chartreuse, London dry gin. So if you have those things, we'll grab them. We'll meet back here in a minute. Why is this camera all disheveled? Let's see if that fixed it. Too much moving around and going back and forth. Ah, that didn't fix it, huh? Is the camera quality really crappy? It looks to me like it is. That did not fix it, huh? What is happening here? Is it just my... Let's see. I might just not have it on high quality stream on my laptop. Okay, now it seems fine to me. So hopefully it's okay. All right, so I don't know, 2 minutes. I'm gonna go grab a juicer, a lime, and the liquor that I'll need. And then we'll get shaker and ice, and we will last word it up. This is a Hemingway cocktail. Great writer. Maybe an even better drinker? I don't know. I'll be back. Okay. What's been going on in the backyard? You guys have just the view of the backyard. All right, lime and this little mini lime. We'll see if we can even get a ½ ounce out of it. Le juicer. Let's see what we got here. I would go a little heavier than others also if I don't get a full ounce of lime juice. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get a ½ ounce from this thing. Ay. Hard to get good limes these days, I'm telling you. Anyone following the craziness of the Idaho 4, the Kelly Gonsalves, Maddie Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. That one, you know, I get into true crime a bit. Big fan of like True Crime Garage, which is a great podcast. The Prosecutors, which is another good one. That guy I've DM'd a bit back and forth on Twitter. Brett, who's one of the co-hosts of The Prosecutors, seems like a cool guy. Big bourbon drinker, I think. But in any case, that Idaho murder situation, yeah, I got a little less than a ½ an ounce here, so we'll see. We'll see if that's enough. It really was keeping me up at night. It was such a horrifying ordeal. Hopefully they have the right person. We will find out, I guess. It's gonna be crazy when all that finally goes to trial. I don't know if I should get another lime. Probably. Alright, spruce it up with a smidge more lime. Alright, I'm gonna get more lime. I'm gonna get my maraschino, which I have to dig out of the bottom. And what's the other thing I need? Oh no, I'm splashing. Splashing. The other thing I need is chartreuse, obviously. Green chartreuse. Okay, I'm gonna grab as many of those things as I can, and I'll be right back. All right. I was able to grab some glassware also. I do not have good, it's not that I don't have good glassware. I don't have good sort of depth. I have a very shallow bench when it comes to the glassware I have. I have like a decent old-fashioned glass. This that I put the Negroni in is just a water glass. And then I have, now just 2 of these because I broke 2 of them. I don't technically even know what kind of glass that's considered, but I use it for anything that doesn't go in like an old-fashioned or a rocks glass, for better or worse. Oh man, I have videos scheduled to come out. I actually have one coming out tomorrow that I haven't been publishing on Saturdays, but I thought I would try it. I need to try something because the views have been really not great. Just very, very low numbers. And so I need to figure out what's going on and how to improve that. So sometimes what used to work was publishing on days that were less popular for, or I guess were less common for more popular channels to post on. I guess the idea there, thinking that there's some sort of like air left in the room. The big channels didn't suck all the air out of the room and limit viewership that way. So maybe we'll see if tomorrow's video gets any traction or not. But yeah, I think it's just, a lot of it is like headline stuff. I think it's like if the title like grabs the attention, then getting decent views in the thousands, but those are few and far between, with a whole bunch that have like double-digit views, not even breaking the 100 mark. So we'll see if publishing tomorrow gets us anywhere. But if not, I may just need to figure it out. But I have a month's worth of videos scheduled. I think I have 20. No, I must have more than that. I must have 30 in the queue. Into late August. That's posting 6 days a week. So I just happened to do a bonus video today, and so I thought I would do it tomorrow and just see how that goes. But yeah, we've been posting every Sunday through Friday. Sunday night going out at 8:15 in the PM, and then Monday through Friday going out at 8 a.m. But this coming week I'm also changing up the timing every day, Monday through Friday, to see if posting at a different time makes any difference or not, but we'll see. I need my maraschino, and I need my chartreuse, and then we'll be just about ready to shake. So, let me go get that stuff. Oh, I did watch this crazy podcast episode, which I watched on YouTube. I'll tell you about it in a minute. It was really interesting. All right. We got brand spanking new Luxardo Maraschino. We got a not so new green chartreuse. That's the monks have been really constraining the supply. People feeling that they can't get their hands on the green chartreuse. I think there was also some like popular cocktail that was crafted or I don't know became popular again that calls for green chartreuse, and so a lot of the liquor stores weren't able to get it because the suppliers would just send it off to the bars first because they're obviously much bigger customers. And so the liquor store's like, can't get it. But I got my hands on a few bottles, so I have backups. So I do love some green chartreuse. All right, ice, strainer, and then I have cherries in here, so that'll be fun. All right, it's gonna get loud while I shake, but I'll start the shake in the other room, and I'll shake my way into here. So I'll see you in a minute. Here we are. Gotta get it out, get it out. So the ice just doesn't melt. And water it down. I've almost forgotten my strainer. Alright. Get it out. Looking good. It is a beautiful looking cocktail. This one's gonna get a cherry. What a treat. If you don't want to pay an insane amount of money for Luxardo cherries, I did find these that are about half the price, and they're very good. Oh no. Think I can fish this out with a knife? Yes. Alright. Alright. I know it will shock you, but Tillin Farms by Stonewall Kitchen is not sponsoring this video. I know this video is getting dozens of views potentially. But last word. Cheers. Oh, it's so good. So good. And I rarely make them. The lime juice I really have to be in the mood for. But yeah, this is an excellent, excellent cocktail. Again, in case you're just joining, last word that we just made, equal parts, 1 ounce of everything. Lime juice, gin, preferably a dry gin. Don't go with a like botanically flowery kind of thing. A London dry gin, I'm using Brokers. Green chartreuse, and Luxardo Maraschino liqueur. And then you stick a cherry in there, and you're good to go. That gets a shake, obviously. Okay. So, anyone want to talk about anything? Oh, I was going to talk about this podcast. So, just bear with me for a moment if you're not into true crime, but there was this Idaho 4 case that had come up that happened in November of 2022, and they arrested somebody just before the new year. And then there's this channel on YouTube called Crime Circus, and he likes to speculate. And he has been going through this, I think it was an Air Force veteran or an Army veteran who lived near the person who was arrested, and was, I don't know, a SWAT team took him out or something. It was obviously a bad situation. But in any case, he's been putting out all these speculative videos on if that person, the veteran, could be involved. And then he like goes on this like deep dive, I guess we could call it, though it's like riddled with inaccuracies, about the deceased veteran's best friend, who's posting online things about like I miss you, and like, you know, taking photos of like a little memorial that he's made for him, and that sort of thing. And so this guy's lost his best friend, who he was friends with for 20 something years. And now he has this really popular, like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, I think, YouTuber who's like trying to connect him to this tragedy that happened, of the 4 Idaho victims, trying to somehow connect him into that. And so he did a podcast, and it was really fascinating. It's an hour long. He freely admits he's like boozing it up. You see him, he's having some beers, and he's really mad, really mad. But he seemed like a pretty cool guy, very well spoken, and yeah, he just kind of tells his side of things, and it's really humanizing, and it's really sad, because like I said, he's dealing with the loss of his friend, and then on top of it, he has to get some, just by sheer like happenstance that these things happen in close proximity to each other time-wise, he gets wrapped up into this wild, like, 4-person unaliving that happened. And so now he is grieving his friend, he's dealing with all of that, and now he has to also like fight this fight of trying to keep his friend's name from getting dragged through the mud, who can't even defend himself anymore, and then he has to defend himself. It's just like, like the mental health impact of that is just like, I don't know, it was very sad, but it was nice to hear him in his own words, just free reign, because it was his podcast that he does with his friend already, so it's like home base for him. He wasn't like doing it on another show or anything. And yeah, it's really worth a watch if you have a chance. I think it's called Don't Blame Us is the name of the podcast. And there's a couple that are named that, but his name is Darren Duncan, DARIN DUNKIN. And Darren, if you catch this, I'm also drinking. I'm more exhausted than I am angry. But I thought you did a great job on that episode, and I'm sorry for everything that you're going through at the moment. Yeah, so recommendation there, if you kind of run across any of these things about the Idaho case or Crime Circus, or Brent Kopaka, who is the veteran, and then Darren Duncan is his best friend. So, this is hitting the right spot. Is it too soon? Oh, nice and frosty on the outside. Is it too early to start looking for what the next, what my next one should be? I had a good idea, I thought. There was another gin one. Gin is so good during the day, before the evening gets taken over by the dark scotches and ryes and bourbons. I wish I had stuff for penicillin. I don't have honey syrup. Otherwise, I'd be good to go. Oh, that's scotch, but anyway. 50-50 martini is also good if you don't like the typical like dry martini. 50-50 martini is 1.5 ounces of Lillet Blanc, which is I think it's technically a French vermouth, and 1.5 ounces of gin. That's it. 1.5 Lillet Blanc, 1.5 gin. I put in at least a couple dashes of orange bitters and stir it in a mixing glass and strain it off and enjoy. Pim's Cup, always a good option also during the day. What was the one that I was looking at before? Oh, was it the Bijou? Because it's also a green chartreuse and also a cherry. This might be my way of getting in multiple cherries during the drink. Bijou, yeah, Bijou is pretty good. 1.25 ounce gin, 3/4 ounce sweet vermouth, and 1/4 ounce green chartreuse. No, I mean, this may not need more chartreuse at the moment. Well, I made this basil gimlets last weekend, really good. 2 ounces of gin, 1 ounce of lime juice, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, and then 6 basil leaves. You shake them all together. It's pretty good. Oh, Louisiane. Oh, there's an updated Louisiane. Okay. All right, I was thinking about the Ford. Probably not gonna go with the Ford. All right, I don't think I'm gonna go for another gin after this. We're gonna have to see. I mean, this puppy is like full, so. But we know how quickly it all can go. I do have water that I should also be drinking. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we can figure out what's up with the like video views. I'm also wondering if, I kind of like wanted to come in hot and heavy to kind of get the channel kind of reset to the new types of videos that I'm making. And so I've been publishing, like I said before, 6 videos a week. But a lot of them, like I was saying before, getting very, very low view counts. But I'm also wondering, so like I had decided to do 6 a week just to kind of, I guess, hopefully teach YouTube that like, hey, this is what my channel is going to be about now. It's not like focused on stocks anymore. And now I'm wondering if that, like, I guess we could call it plummeting view count, is partly because there's just so many videos going out. And so maybe, like I had mentioned before, how, if you publish at the same time of very popular channels, it can be hard for you to get timeshare from people because they're watching the more popular channels, which is very fair. But I'm also wondering if I'm sort of doing that to myself in the sense of, like, there's just too many videos going out too frequently, and in that way, things are just getting lost in the shuffle. Like, it's consistent because it's going out at the same times and the same days every week, but again, it might just be getting lost very much in the shuffle, and then I'm creating additional shuffle for it to get lost in. I don't know. If anyone has any guru techniques for trying to like tweak how you're getting, I don't know, your videos served up or view counts or anything like that, let me know. Maybe it's also just the content. Who knows? Content is very different now. So I don't know, but I'm having fun making them. It's one of those things, I don't know if you all know this, but I used to make music. I spent a good, what would we say, 5 years, maybe 6 years as a full-time musician. That was all that I did as a singer-songwriter. Didn't have a band, didn't like play, songs for other people, but I was just writing my own music and then traveling around and playing it. And I did that like full-time from 2009 to like 2015 or so. And then when I gave it up, I just gave it up, and kind of shifted gears. But in any case, I often think back to those songs, and I've thought about maybe doing another album. But I think maybe hopefully, how nice someday it will be for my kids to maybe stumble upon my music and just kind of listen to some things that their dad made. And I'm kind of thinking that like putting out all these videos that I've been putting out recently, obviously I want to gain traction. I would like viewership, I would like engagements and that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, if that doesn't happen, these videos will persist, and hopefully my kids will have an opportunity to look at them someday. And I'll just think it might be a nice sort of view into what life is like at the moment and what's on my mind and the way that I'm thinking about things. Certainly something that I don't have from my dad, who had an accident and died in 2009. He was pictures, right? And maybe you had some home movies. And unless your parent or whomever was like an author or an actor or, a more legit musician, you didn't really have those things. Or unless they kept a journal or a diary or something. So I'm hoping that these sort of serve that purpose for my kids, between the music and now all the videos that I've been putting out on philosophy. I hope there's some sort of utility there for that stuff. But yeah, who knows? It goes back to maybe there's just not a lot of interest for the subject matter. Oh, here comes my wine. I see it. I'm gonna have to go get it because they need a signature. I hope I look 21 or older at the moment. Wasn't there something that was going to be like UPS is delivering the package, where they were supposed to be striking or something? I thought I heard that and I was like, oh no, my package might not come. And then I was like, no, that's not the most important thing about drivers striking. All right, I'm gonna go grab this from this guy. I'll be right back. Okay. I have a backup stash of wine, but there's not a ton in there right now. And my active wine rack has only 2 bottles left in it, so this is good timing. Shall we do an unboxing? Might as well, right? Can't open this. I need to give it time to just settle after the shipping, the trauma of shipping. But let me show you what I got from Old Naked Wines. I'm not gonna post a link, but if you want to do Naked Wines and you haven't yet, and you'd like a code that probably gets both of us some sort of free thing or credit or something, let me know. You can just put it in the chat, even if you're watching this at a later date. And I'd be happy to send you my code. So I got some whites because it's summer. Again, this puppy, this is from North Canterbury, New Zealand. Try to separate these out into my whites. Let's see. I thought these had. I thought usually when they send the packing list, it usually has the prices on there, but it did not. So 2021, I got mostly blends. I'm a big blends guy. I just like how the blends, when done well, they can tend to sort of, I don't know, soften or complements, you know, the notes and the tastes of the different types of wine. I mean, it's similar to a cocktail in that sense, right? You're not doing a rye, whiskey, bourbon. I'm sure this exists, but you're not doing an ounce of rye, an ounce of whiskey, or a scotch, I should say, an ounce of bourbon, and an ounce of rum in your drink, because that would make a terrible cocktail. You have things that complement each other and balance each other out and that sort of thing. So I think like I said, when done well, the blends are doing the same thing. So I think all or most of these are blends. I did have them add a couple of bottles as a mystery pack because I had room for it. So I don't know what those are going to be. Oh, this must be one of them because I wouldn't have gotten this myself, but it might be good. This is a cab. This will be a good reset for the wine stash. 15 fresh bottles in. We got about 5 or so bottles still kicking around. So that'll be good. What's this? Angel's Selection. I've been with Naked Wines for a long time though. I don't know how long they've been around, but I've been getting stuff from them for, I don't know, probably 8 years or something like that. This I think I had before. I think it's very good. Feels like a lot to try to pronounce these at the moment, so I'm not pronouncing them. I just figured you could watch back and zoom in if you want to see any of these. And I also think that Naked Wines used to do just stuff from the US, and now they're obviously in New Zealand. That was from Italy or Tuscany. So I don't know why they're now doing that or if it matters, but Concrete Red Blend. 15.6%. That's heavy. That is a lot. Wow. 2018. I try to get the older stuff just to, I don't have the storage at the moment to age my stuff, and so I need to try to buy it already aged, and so that helps. Here's the Chenin Blanc, which you haven't had it before. If you like, a little bit fruitier whites, I wouldn't say sweet, but a little bit fruitier, they're very good. I feel like whenever somebody talks about like a sweet whites, everyone automatically is thinking of like, what is that even called? Moscato? I don't know. Obviously I don't drink it, but it's like extremely, or like a dessert wine, like a Riesling, like a very sweet Riesling or something. But sweet can be just like sort of fruity and not so darn dry all the time. 4 bottles to go. Here's another white. This looks suspiciously like this one. Hopefully I didn't get 2 of the same thing. No, I mean, they may be the exact same thing, but just a 2020 and a 2021. Yeah, I think they might be the same. But year to year can make a difference, as you may know. Reserve must be important, right? Oh man, did I only get 4 bottles of white? Doggone. This I think I had before, and I think it's very good. I think it's also not that expensive. I think like in the teens, and I think I remember thinking, wow, it's a very good bottle for in the teens. This is probably one of the other mystery ones that they sent me. It's another cab. A lot of cab craziness, a lot of heavy cab promoting. So I'm not always the biggest fan, but that's why I get the blends. But I don't want to go back and look for 2 more bottles, and sometimes it's good to have them send something that I just wouldn't have gotten otherwise. I made it through. Alright, I think I got time for one more. I think I need to go by about 6 o'clock Eastern. In other words, the best time zone. Let me see what I want to have here. I need more bitters. I have also my shopping list on my drinks, my list of drinks. I put the shopping list on top for the things that I'm low on. Right now, luckily, none of it's really booze, unless you count bitters, but I need Angostura. I need ginger beer. I need Coke, which I'm totally out of, and I do like my my 50/50. What is that called? I'm drawing a blank. Shocking. Why is 50/50 martini coming up? Fernet Branca and Coke. Very good. Very good. But I do love me some Fernet. But the first time I drank Fernet, I didn't really know what it was. And often, when I get something, I like to try it first, just like on its own, like straight up. And then I like to try it with a cube, just to like sort of get a sense of what it is, what it tastes like. And then, you know, it might give me an idea of like, oh, maybe I'll like add some of this, add some of that, and try to mix it in this way. But that is a rough one to to have on its own. Oh my god. It's like, well, I talked about the channel How to Drink. Greg, I think, described it before as fumey. It's like fumes, like cleaning fumes. So I make that face, but like that's if you drink it on its own, which is like not what you should really be doing. You should be putting it, mixing it half and half with Coke, or like 70-30 with Coke, 70% Coke, 30% Fernet. That's very good, very good. But I need Coke, Coca-Cola, which I get Boylan's Cola. It's my preference. Have I ever told you guys my really big wish and desire is to move to France? Boy, do I wish I could get that working out. I would love to move to the south of France, Aix-en-Provence. If you've never looked it up, AIXEN Provence, Provence, Aix-en-Provence. Beautiful. Beautiful. I also just so want to just retire. I'm like very ready for retirement. Monte Cassino. I don't know if I have. I think I only have 1 lemon. It needs a whole ounce of lemon juice. So I might skip that. I don't want to deal with grenadine right now. Man, it's getting hot in here also. It's like only 80 today, but it's like, whoa. After that thunderstorm, it's just a lot. Okay, I'm gonna get the bijou again. Reconsidering the bijou. It's only like 2 ounces of cocktail. Like not really what I'm looking for at the moment. Bobby Burns is good, but not yet. What's the updated La Louisiane? That's an Anders Ericsson, if I have his name right. That's his deal. I think he created it. 1.5 ounces of rye, 1.5 ounces rye, 3/4 sweet vermouth, 3/4 Benedictine Dom, 4 dashes of Peychaud's, 4 dashes of Angostura. Absinthe, rinse the glass. That's what I wanted. Express lemon oil and stir. Okay, I think this is going to be our grand finale. Updated La Louisiane. We'll finish off with some rye. I need to get the mixing glass, and I need to let me get the mixing glass and that stuff, and we'll go from there. Strainer's still over here, though I have another strainer that I could use. I'll rinse this out. Okay, 2 minutes, I'll be back. All right. So, new glass. Ditch the old glass. Well, I have some ideas on how to set this up differently next time. Maybe I'll try to plan my drink session and just set everything up here. I'll still have the conundrum with the ice and the utensils, but so it'll go. But I just think that would still be better, because now I need to get rye, Dom, bitters, and sweet vermouth. And I'll be back. All right, Benedictine Dom, Peychaud's. I'm sure you know Angostura, and I'm gonna go with Rittenhouse Rye, which hasn't been opened yet. Cherry we'll deal with after. Get my Lily Pratt. Sweet vermouth back. All right, let's do that first. 3/4 of the sweet. Double check. Yeah, sweet vermouth. Oh no. Oh no! I've double poured myself. Do I dare pour it back in? I don't think I have a choice. I had the wrong side up. This is unfortunate. Alright, it's going back in. We're gonna hope for the best. Hopefully that doesn't ruin the whole bottle. I think they're like $15, so it's not that big of a deal. But, alright. Okay. I'm just gonna have to clean up the mess that that's going to make. Alright, so 3/4 of the sweet vermouth. Hell yeah. Getting a ring on the table. It's like the nicest table we have in the house. And it just has a bunch, you can't see it, but behind where the camera is just a bunch of art projects and toys, which are great because the children make them. But it takes over basically the entire dining room table, which we don't use anyway, so it's kind of fair, but it just looks like a disaster. Okay, what do we got? Let me do. See, I have this one side, which is 1 ounce, I have the other side, which is 2, but like I can't tell like a 3/4 ounce pour in the 2 ounce side, so I have to do the 1 ounce side, and then if I do what I did when I poured the sweets in the wrong side, if I use that and then flip it over, then it just drips onto the table. So I try to just use one side, which means whenever I have to do 1.5 ounces, I have to do. Here's actually a good tip. Do 2 3/4 pours. That way, if you happen to do a heavy pour on the first one, you can just do a full ounce and then a half. So it's a little bit, gives you a little bit of room for error. All right, so before I put this in, I'm gonna do 4 and 4, is that what it is? Yeah, 4 Peychaud's. 1, 2, 3, 4. Peychaud's is like candy. Interesting. It's good for all those like Bourbon Street, New Orleans cocktails. 4 Angos. I think the last Angus store I had was like out of control. I would like open it. It's like for the whole life of the bottle. I'd open it and it'd be like, like already shooting all over the place. And then this one, I'm like, it's not like that. It's like, I think doing the normal thing, the thing it should be doing. But every time I use it, I'm like, is this thing broken? Is this not working? But I think the other one was broken and it's just spraying things all over the place. I'm gonna grab a lemon because it's good. This has lemon. Oh, I didn't do the absinthe. Okay, let's absinthe rinse the glass first. Yeah, this one is a lot of steps. Okay, got my absinthe over here. Over here. This, as far as I know, only comes in these tiny bottles, but it's very good. La Clandestine, like clandestine. It's actually a product of Switzerland, but it's very good. All right, so we're gonna go with a little drop in there. I'm gonna swirl it around, and I don't think there will be, but if there's any left after the rinse, we will just take care of it down our gullets. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. So you just get a nice ring around the top from the small drop you put in there, and then just give it a moment, and it will do the rest of the rinse for you. And then if it accumulates a little too much in the bottom, you can just give it a little, or just dump it out. But that's not what's happening here. That happens as long as you do a small enough little drop in your glass. Okay. I need ice, spoon, and strainer, and lemon. Okay, if I can carry all that, I'll be right back. Okay. Dropped my lemon, but I think it'll be okay. I think I need to crack it open on Sunday anyway. All right, stir this puppy up. Give it a strain, we'll be good to go. Usually I time this for about 30 seconds, but I don't have a clock in here that I can look at. So, just judging, I have a finger on the outside of the mixing glass where you can't see it. You can sort of feel when it starts to frost through a bit. Oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. And the absinthe rinse is in here. Oh man. It's gonna be very nice. Very nice. Gotta be careful with these strainers because they don't really cover the mixing glass, and so sometimes a piece of ice can pop through if you're being sloppy. Let me just double check this. I think it's just a express lemon oil. All right, so we're not going to drop the peel in. We're just going to express some oil over it. Greg from How to Drink likes to do it, take the peel over the glass. He says because if some of the oil comes out through the peeling process, you catch it in your glass because you're doing it over. I feel like it's so much better to find good, oh, I'm not putting it in. I think it's so much better to find good lemons than it is good limes. I don't know why. All right, I have quite a mess to clean up over here. So this is an updated La Louisiane. Cheers. Now I don't know the full history. It is kind of sweet. It's kind of candy-y. Like I talked about the Peychauds being candy-like. The lemon helps a bit on the back end. Yeah, but up front, I mean, I'm sure the sweet vermouth is kicking in there as well, but and the down is also kind of sugary. So I think it's just, there's a lot of sort of sugary things helping out the rye. Yeah, and then the lemon kick helps though, and it's sort of a lot of candy up front, but it smooths it out with the lemon. In any case, I don't know the history of the original La Louisiane, but let me tell you what that is, and then I will tell you about the updated version and why that is even a thing. So the original is half an ounce of rye, half an ounce of sweet vermouth, half an ounce of dam. So the exact same ingredients, but half ounces of each. 4 dashes of herb saint or absinthe, 4 dashes of Peychauds, cocktail cherry to garnish. So the reason, I think, again, I'm going off of memory, but I think Anders updated this and he created the updated La Louisiane recipe. For one, because the original only has 1.5 ounces of liquor. It's like the whole cocktail is 1.5 ounces, whereas this is 3. And then plus your bitters. And then he goes with the lemon oil as opposed to the cocktail cherry, which I think is a good call. Again, because it's so kind of candy-ish already. That helps. And then the absinthe rinse, I think, is nice versus the dashes. Because then you get a nice rinse throughout the entire glass and it helps with the finish. But yeah, I don't even know. I'm pretty sure I've tried the original. I don't recall. I definitely prefer the updated. But yeah, good on Anders for the update. If I'm giving credit where credit is due. I don't know. Oh, All right, well, we're coming up to our time here. If you'd like more lives, please let me know. I don't really know what to do. I tried to do a live meditation session like a week and a half ago or something. I think it was okay. I feel like these like cocktail hour, like drinking ones could be fun. But I don't know if that's of any interest to anyone. It's sort of weird to have a channel on philosophy and what I guess some people would consider like spiritual videos, and then have like drinking lives. But there's many sides to a human, so we're doing different things at different times. So I can read Hafiz and the Tao and the Bhagavad Gita and be here now all day long, and then I can have my 3 cocktails at happy hour. If you missed it, right now we're having an updated La Louisiane, which is rye. I had a final word, which is awesome, which is a Hemingway favorite. That's with gin. Well, it's equal parts gin, green chartreuse, Luxardo, and lime juice. And we kicked things off with another gin drink, Negroni. 1.5 ounces gin, 3/4 sweet vermouth, 3/4 Campari, orange, express the oil, drop the peel in. I do it over a big cube, and it's delicious. So those were the 3 today. I also did a whole unboxing of a Naked Wines delivery that I got during the live. But yeah, I don't know if these are fun for you guys. Like, please let me know. If they're not, they're not. And I don't know. I don't really know how to figure out all of my logistics, because even when I'm not doing a live stream and I'm just mixing cocktails, I have the glassware and I have the sink and I have the ice all in the kitchen. And then I come in here into the dining room to get, all the liquor. And so I'm like back and forth, and obviously I would say that the carrying around the camera did not go super well. So I don't think I would try that again. And so I feel like I could kind of get everything mostly to one spot, except for the sink and the ice. Like, those are going to be challenging. But also, it wasn't a big deal for me to say, like, hey, I'm going to jump up and I'll be back in 2 minutes. Here's what I'm going to make. If that's cool, then let me know. Because otherwise, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do unless it involves buying another ice maker. So we'll see. But this was fun. Hopefully some of you catch it on the rebroadcast or what have you. But I had fun anyway. Hopefully, if we get some sort of motion in terms of viewership and engagement and stuff, hopefully there can be a little bit more back and forth. My hope was that we could have a little bit of an open discussion. But I understand there's just a few of you watching. And that's just the reality of doing like my second live in a year. So that's fine. I was also wondering about doing some of them like later at night. I don't know if like it might be a really bad idea, since I started today's by complaining about how tired I was because I've been staying up too late. But I have also wondered, like, would it be fun to like do these like, maybe from like 9 to 10 at night or something like that, Eastern time. I can't really manage much beyond that, and I could only do that selectively, but we'll see. Also, I'd be interested to know, I can watch back as well, but I'd be interested to know how folks feel the sound quality is, just because I can film on the HD camera, but the microphone, the port is screwed up, and so the microphone that I would plug in, it doesn't work because the port on the camera is busted. So I'm just using the mic that's built in, Whereas like when I make my videos and stuff, I usually film with the camera, but I have the microphone hooked up to my laptop. I can't figure out how to do that on YouTube Live. I feel like this is actually the most successful, technically speaking, that I've done for a live. Usually it's like I have sound issues or I have like video issues, and so I end up like using my like laptop camera, and it's not HD, and it's really not ideal. But you know, if this setup generally works, that would be great. But if the sound's a little wonky, I can try to figure out a better solution. I might just have to take some time to try to figure out how to better use YouTube Live. But there's also that, what's it called, StreamYard? I feel like a lot of creators are using these days. It's like a third-party service. I don't know if it costs money or whatnot, but I can look into that also. Because what I mostly need is, like when you record a video, like you can have just your laptop recording the video, and you can, you know, connect your microphone to your laptop, and then you can have an external camera that your laptop will connect to, like wirelessly, and it will stream the video, or it will record the video from there. Like, I can't figure out how to make that happen with the YouTube Live for some reason. Like, it won't register that there's a camera that it could be taking the video from. It, like, for whatever reason, like, forces me to use the webcam on my MacBook, which is like, it's just not that good. Unfortunately, I wish that Apple would improve that, especially with how prevalent everyone's doing like Zoom meetings and stuff these days. But yeah, if this was fun for you all, I think it's fun. It's something I enjoy doing anyway. Check out How to Drink, which is a channel where I've learned a ton about mixology, and also Anders Ericsson. Let me double check and see if I can. Yeah, Anders is his first name. Last name Erickson. It's funny because How to Drink, that person has never worked in a bar. He says so in his intro. He's like very much like not, you know, a trained bartender. And Anders, I think, is totally a trained bartender who has worked in bars for many, many years. So, also they were from like my old stomping grounds. I think Anders lives in Chicago, which is where I lived from 2004 to 2009. And I think How to Drink, I think Greg is in Queens maybe, which is actually the first place where I had an apartment when I moved to New York in 2009. So it's kind of just not here nor there. It doesn't really play any part in their channels where they're located, and also I could be totally wrong about How to Drink, but for some reason I thought he was in Queens. Well, I think I'm going to be descended upon by children very soon, so we'll probably be wrapping this up. But like I had mentioned earlier, tomorrow I actually have a video that's going to be hitting, I think at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and it's a single shot video, so it doesn't have the like nature background while I'm voicing over. It is, as long as I'm not confusing this with one of the ones that I scheduled for August, I think that the video tomorrow is 4 life-changing ideas from ancient wisdom. So taking 4 quotes from ancient people. I was going to say philosophers, I was going to say poets. It's like, you know, it's a mix of different backgrounds of people. So taking 4 quotes of theirs and just sort of like, you know, talking about how that applies to modern life. I think it's a pretty short video. It's probably around 5 minutes or less. Which is another thing I'm kind of toying with, of like, you know, should these be more like 3, 4, 5 minute videos as opposed to 8, 9, 10 minute videos? I know, back when I was heavy in the stock videos, sometimes those would be, I feel like I was commonly trying to keep them between like 8 and 10 minutes, but I think that was because, some creators channel, like, those creators, maybe you don't know, but there's creators who have channels about being a YouTube creator. And one of the more popular ones had said, for whatever reason, that like 8 minutes was like the sweet spot for, I guess, the algorithm to like, help you out in some way. I don't know if that's real or not. I also don't know if maybe it was real then and it's changed. But yeah, there was a period of time where I was like very focused on trying to keep them, between like 8 and 9 minutes. But some of them definitely got quite a bit longer, 13 to 20 minutes. I can't imagine making some of these philosophy videos unless I'm going to maybe think of like 3 topics to cover and then try to find sort of a way to weave them together. I guess I could edit them together in ways that didn't seem too weird. But also, I mean, you end up seeing how, what a small percentage of your video that people watch. You like put out like an 8-minute video, and people will watch like 1:59 of it. Like that'll be the average. You're like, oh man. And I think this is, I have never really watched his videos. I don't really know much about him, but somebody was talking a couple weeks ago about Mr. Beast, and they were saying that like, I guess he started his channel, he would like do weird things like count aloud to like 1 million or something like that. But he was saying then that like, even then like people would watch a couple minutes, like those were his analytics, is they'd watch a couple minutes and then they would tune out. And so he was like, so really, I didn't have to like count to 1 million at all. I could have just counted for 2 minutes and then done whatever I wanted to because people were mostly tuning out by that point anyway. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's interesting. It's so much different than how I watch YouTube. Because I'm almost always watching videos the whole way through. So I don't really, I don't know if I don't sort of explore enough. And so maybe I'm not just sort of like catching videos that I'm not that interested in. And so then I just watch a fraction of it and pop out of it. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what that behavior is. Also, I'm in my 40s, and so maybe it's, younger folks who just interact differently. I also wonder, like, if you put out a 10-minute video and somebody watches your video at 2x the speed, which I feel like, I don't know, 2x might be a lot for my videos, but 1.5, you probably get what feels like a pretty good, like, normal cadence. Since my, like, sort of speech is so slow in those videos. But I wonder if somebody watches your 10-minute video at 2x, I wonder if it's said, and if they watch it the whole way through, I wonder if YouTube grabs that as they watched 5 minutes of your video. It's probably smarter than that, so probably not, but that was one way that I was trying to, like, talk myself off the ledge. Like, you're making all these, like, 5, 6, 7, 8-minute videos, and 25 people are watching it for 1.5 minutes each. It's like at some level it's just sort of like, oh man, is it really that uninteresting? Maybe. There might be a large chasm between what I think is interesting and what a lot of people think is interesting. Who knows? This is weird to throw in at the end of a drinking live, but so weekends are very like crazy with the kids and whatnots, and so I don't work out on the weekends, but Monday through Friday I work out every day, and I've been trying this thing for the last, I guess, like 5, maybe 6 weeks. I've actually thought about making a video on it, but it feels weird, but maybe I will. So I don't have a gym membership, and I don't really have a big desire to, but I have kettlebells. And so kettlebells, you can go a long way. You can get a lot done with kettlebells. But I thought it'd be interesting a few weeks ago that if I just focus on a few like complex movements with kettlebells, but I do those every single day, I was sort of curious like what would happen. And I have definitely noticed sort of like a strengthening of the core. And I'm a little suspicious of this, but we'll see. Thinking there might be some like reasonably positive like metabolic improvements, which like my metabolism is garbage. But the 4 movements that I've been doing, if you want to look them up, is one is the standard kettlebell swing. The second is a split leg single arm swing, which sounds more confusing than it is. It's just you have one foot forward and then you have the other foot back, and you're swinging with one arm, sort of between your legs, but you have a staggered stance. And then the other one is a hanging clean press. And then the other one, the last one is a snatch, a kettlebell snatch. I think I have that right. I have a good person for you to follow if you're interested in kettlebell training. Every Got Damn Dre, I think is his name, on Instagram. Every, I think GOTDAM DRE, every Got Damn Dre. He's like kettlebell enthusiast, I guess you could call him. Tremendous like strength and physique. Like a really, really interesting perspective on working out with kettlebells. And but you'll find all this stuff there. You'll find cleans and snatches, and definitely you'll find the staggered stance, like the staggered stance single arm kettlebell swing. I learned that from him. But in any case, I've been doing those 4 every day, Monday through Friday, and it's been interesting. I want to give it a few more weeks and kind of see what persists, what changes, if I throw my back out, and yeah, just kind of go from there and then decide if it's weird or hard to make a video on that, or maybe I'll just like put out a tweet about it or something. But something to consider. Amazon actually makes really good Amazon brand kettlebells. They're not cheap. They're still not cheap, but they're cheaper than a lot of what you'll find out there. I think I always just assume that they're going to be like $1 a pound. So if you want a 25-pound kettlebell, it's going to be $25. I can't really remember if that's about accurate or not. It might be more than that. Might be more like $1.50 or $2 a pound. But but they make ones that obviously will ship to your door. And I've had at least one of them for several years, and no rusting, no chipping, like no issues at all. It's been really good. So something to consider. All right, I'm probably dangerously close to children arriving. So I'm gonna finish my updated La Louisiane, and thank you for hanging out with me and watching. We'll do this again sometime, and hopefully folks will get chatty sometime in the near future. I know it's going to take a while to build and to change the channel and to make it something new, but I appreciate you watching, and I will hopefully see you soon. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to you later. Bye.